We are live for our second live stream Best Ball Mania draft. We only have two of the four members, as one of them is welcoming a new child, and the other one is trying to handle the chaos of moving a child to
A
parents'
lot of
house.
little ones in the mix.
Yes.
Congratulations, Nicholas.
Yes, congrats
And
to Nick.
yeah,
Um, Hopefully, whenever he has some free time opened up, he can hop on for one of these streams. But for today, it'll just be Alex and I. We won't have the end of the stream arguing with the late round picks as we
I feel like
always do.
I feel like we're pretty in line usually with our ADPs and our guys we're high on, and I feel like the two of us are
In
pretty
sync.
in sync. They finally put in bye weeks here.
Yep. I was happy with that because that was
Yeah,
getting you were having to like check. It is like kind of in the bottom there, but
yeah.
yeah, it was kind of annoying having to check, another sheet.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got the 8th this time, 10th last time. Pretty similar vibe here. But we'll get a little bit different look at the first couple of rounds at the very least.
Yeah, the eighth spot is one of the spots because usually I like wide receiver is something early on I'm really trying to target, but the only way I'm gonna be able to because I love Bijan and I love Brees Hall, and the only way you're really gonna be able to get them is if you just that those are like the two running backs really that
Yeah.
I'll take early on and then go with the hero RB strategy.
So are you going CD over CMC if you get the one, or if he falls to, let's say, 2 or 3?
Yeah, like if CMC
Or
like if I'm at the 101, I really wanna get overweight on, like, Lamb. I would rather be overweight Lamb
yeah,
over CMC, but, I'll take my CMC if, like, I'm at the 2 or 3 spot,
like this spot.
probably the 2 spot, and
Like,
yeah, like, right here, that's probably when I would get a share of CMC.
yeah. All right. Good to know. I know you were higher on him than a lot of people last year just because of the injury bias and all of that, and he obviously paid that 101 ticket off. So
For me, this year, it's more so, like, especially on Underdog, like, all of the receivers are
mhm.
getting pushed up so high.
Yeah,
And a lot of people, you might think like, "Oh, you should zig when other people zag." Like, "Oh, that means I should eat up the RB value early and get
mhm.
wider." But it ends up not working that way because what happens is you're like eating up these RBs early, and then you have pretty bad wide receivers, while as everyone else is
Yeah.
getting. Oh, we could take Bijan or Brees here. I'm fine with either.
Uh, let's go. Let's go Brees. I feel like I've taken Bijan a couple of drafts. I don't think I've actually gotten any shares of Brees yet. So
Yeah, I like Brees
switch it
Hall.
up here.
So. But
Uh,
like I was saying, like you either get um the if you get the RBs early, your receivers suck,
yeah,
and if you get the good receivers early and just do what everyone else is doing and just take all the good receivers, you still get incredible running back value late.
yeah,
So it's like you almost need to take wide receivers even more as everyone else keeps doing it. It just like forces you into doing it almost.
yeah. It's interesting how popular zero or hero RB has become just
Yeah.
in this format, especially. It has clearly changed just how pretty much everyone is drafting. I mean, I almost rarely see an RB heavy team, like maybe 1 out of 12 in a draft.
And their teams look bad, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
because like the dart, like you're saying, the dart throws at receiver that you're trying to get if you're getting 3 or 4 top RBs, by then like your wide receiver one is like,
You'll get like Terry McLaurin as your wide
yeah,
receiver one or something, and then you need to be taking like 9 receivers
yeah,
in your draft to make up for it or something. So again, like yeah, here at 17, like definitely would want to be getting like an Olave or a Adams
yeah,
here.
yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you as well. Feel like Olave's fallen to us pretty much every draft we've done with the pod.
Yeah,
Like
I love Olave.
I do too. I kind of want to switch it up this draft like we did with Brees though. So if you're good with Devontae, I'd
Yeah,
start
I'm
with
fine with Devontae.
all right. Try and get a different looking makeup of team than the last couple, especially
Yeah.
being kind of in a similar draft zone. You know, there's guys, especially I'm sure the later rounds will look probably pretty similar because we're getting guys that we like in that range that our podcast or collective brain trust is valuing over the field in a lot of instances. So
Yeah.
those middle to late round guys a lot of times end up looking the same, but at the top here, I think it's good to kind of mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, and early on, looking at like playoff matchups, the Jets play the Bills in Week
Mm-hmm.
17, and then you got the Raiders playing the Saints. So when we're looking for some like later round correlations or quarterbacks, like right now, Josh Allen is
Yeah,
definitely like if he's there, that's going to be a good target to get.
yeah,
Um, because like when you take Brees Hall in the first round, you're expecting him to really outperform a lot of those first round picks in the fantasy playoffs.
yeah,
And if that's the case, he's probably having a good week 17. And that means Josh Allen's going to be pushed. And he definitely, you definitely want to be a lot higher on Josh Allen when you take Brees
yeah.
or if you get Rodgers late.
Yeah, I mean, assuming Rodgers is healthy all year, I love that Week 17 matchup. I mean, like both defenses for sure solid, and is it in Buffalo? I guess New York
I
or
don't know if
defense.
it's in Buffalo or the Jets. I'm
Either
not sure.
place. I
It'll
mean,
be
it's close.
cold either way.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So that deters me a little bit, but just both of the offenses, I think, are poised for solid years. And at 30, was it? We're at 32 here. Next, Allen's ADP is 33, so there's a decent
We'll have a
chance.
good shot.
Yeah,
And I like the matchup. I get it. It could scare people off, but there's some exceptions. Like to me, Brees Hall showed it already last year. Matchups. He was playing with Zach Wilson, and
yeah,
he was in some brutal matchups. And I mean, he just crushed.
yeah.
So,
Didn't matter.
and then Josh Allen, we know he could just go off in any week. And in this draft, when you make the bet on taking Brees Hall, you're assuming that's going to be a good game environment in week 17. So,
Right.
or at least in the playoffs, like you don't take a first round pick for them not to perform in the fantasy playoffs. So you just have to kind of ride with that thesis.
Yeah. It's kind of what Nick was hinting at last stream, where this is the reason why you do and we're doing a lot of drafts, is right because you want to get exposure to a lot of these different matchups. You want to be able to stack these different week 17 combos because really, who knows? At the end of the day, a game like this could shoot out. Um, I'm assuming you're good with Allen here. You don't want to risk it until
Yeah,
the
we could
next.
get Allen right here.
Yeah,
And then what's Kincaid's ADP? Because
50. So
yeah, it's probably a
we've
little
got
bit of
41 and 56.
yeah, we can just see if Kincaid falls to 56.
Yeah, because I
Um,
mean, I know you're fairly high on some of those Buffalo receivers that go a lot later too.
yeah, like I mean, you can get. I mean, MVS is just a easy last round stack option. Then you still get Curtis Samuel, which I like more than Keon Coleman. And who else is there? Oh,
Shakir,
Shakir, which I think I'd rather just take a shot on MVS where he goes late than where
yeah,
Shakir goes. I think Curtis Samuel's role is more secure. Keon Coleman's role is probably secure based off of the draft capital, but I think Shakir or MVS could take that job, and I'd just rather take the value with MVS.
yeah. I'm a little higher on Keon than you are, but I do think when it all shakes out, I think it's going to be Kincaid first look, Keon, Curtis Samuel, Shakir, and then MVS is like your home run last round, hero punt play that you're just hoping goes off for,
Yeah,
we've have games where he catches an 80-yard bomb and hopefully that's week 17 and can win you the millie.
Yep, yep. I think if DK Metcalf is still, I mean, I think we can get Metcalf or Cup here. I think
Yeah,
both of them
I
are,
like
are
I
great.
like both. So let's see if we got to make the choice or if Caden 9000 makes it for us, which he did.
All right. Well, looks like we're getting some Cup.
I like this too because this, we're gonna have with Stafford and with Rodgers, gonna have two guys that we don't have to take until real late as our second QB.
Yeah,
If
I mean,
not even uh, Aiden O'Connell or Minshew.
well, we can't take Rodgers because it's a week 12.
Oh,
They're a
you're
week
right. Yeah,
17
yeah,
matchup that have the same bye, but
yeah, yeah,
Stafford for sure moves up our draft board
yeah.
with taking Cup. And then other week 17 quarterbacks that correlate would be Kyler Murray, but that's with taking Josh, like with Cooper Cup for that week 17 game. And
Okay.
then, but we probably don't want Kyler because we already took Josh Allen.
Yeah, it seems like so Kyler's ADP right now is
Yeah,
78 and
that's too early.
Stafford's is 145. So I mean,
Yeah, I would say Stafford can be a target for us later.
yeah.
I mean, Derek Carr, super late to compare with, and you can get like Carr, Shaheed, Juwan Johnson to pair with Devontae Adams in
Yeah.
that dome game. That's just like when you take Josh Allen, like really
Right.
you're just you can wait a lot later, whether it's Stafford or some other later. So that's just like an option um late. So
Yeah. I mean the hope is that Josh Allen is in your starting role for,
yeah.
14 to 15 out of 17 and you're including one of those being the bye. Like so.
Yeah, you're just hoping that, like, if you take since you're taking Devontae Adams in the second round, obviously you want him to be having a good season, but then also, again, perform in the fantasy playoffs and in the dome in week 17. That definitely sets up well for him. And, Derek Carr, revenge game. You're just hoping that that turns into a bit of a shootout, like kind of one of those ugly shootouts where the defenses just kind of aren't doing much, and you get a Derek Carr ceiling game that you're just kind of taking a shot on that.
Yeah. What does that look like, you think?
Well, it would.
I guess if Shaheed's doing his thing, you might get some numbers out of him.
Yeah, it'd be like Olave going for 100, and then Shaheed going for a bunch, and then Juwan Johnson catching a touchdown. It would
Yeah.
be kind of one of those games.
Yeah. Once in a blue moon type of games.
Did Kincaid go before Andrews, or is he still on the board?
He is gone.
Yeah, he went. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so now we can probably just focus on receiver. I mean, I'm surprised Tank Dell is
Dude,
still
if
on
he
board.
is there, I am clicking that button so fast.
One more guy.
Head
He's
with
taking 4
Terry
receivers. Let's
and
see if he goes
Jaden
with a
Reed.
fifth.
No.
Oh,
Damn.
he
That would have
almost
been
made
awesome.
it back.
Okay, so we got Hollywood.
I would say Hollywood here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I like him significantly more than Worthy in that offense. I mean, I think you're going to get for sure some home run games out of Worthy, but in terms of the day in, week out production,
Yeah.
I've seen. I mean, I hate these like OTA videos where like the caption is like, "How many yards is this dude going to go for this year?" And like it's
Off
just
of,
been
like,
running.
one, like, slant route, like,
Yeah, or
some
like a cone
10-yard
drill with
pass.
no defender. Like it's just like,
Yeah.
but I will say, Marquise Hollywood Brown did look pretty nice running that 3-cone drill.
He caught a one-handed touchdown in OTAs today too.
Did he?
Yeah, it was a
No,
sick
I
guy.
mean, you know, 1010 season loading is what I'm hearing.
Yes. I definitely think that's in the realm for Marquise Brown. I love Hollywood Brown this year. I've always thought he was great.
Yeah, and I mean, to put any sort of ceiling on a Patrick Mahomes receiver that's got any lick of talent is foolish. I
Yeah.
don't care how out of shape he looks.
And
Internet looks
Xavier
great.
Worthy, who is undersized
Yeah.
and hasn't, like, I get it, like, hasn't proven himself, all of that, but, like, Hollywood Brown has been great, and he's now with the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand it. I get it that it's, like, a crowded room now kind of with Kelsey, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice when he's back, so it's just, like, a lot of stuff to go around, but I think Marquise
Right.
Brown is going to emerge as the best option.
Yeah, I mean, in one of those, it's an offense where yes, there's a lot of mouths to feed, but like they're going to pass 30 plus, 40 plus times a game. So those, I'm way less worried about multiple receivers hitting their ceiling in that type of an offense with that quarterback. So we're up again here. We'll just do
I'm
receiver
fine.
again.
I like Rome here.
Rome.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely my favorite receiver on the board.
Okay. We got that for it. Yeah. All right. You know me. I am never going to shy away from picking a Bears wide receiver this year. I mean, it's pretty much the only. There was a little bit of excitement going into last year. I thought Justin Fields might show a little bit something. He had some spark games, some big runs, but in terms of excitement as a Bears fan leading into the season, I don't think mine's ever been higher. So
I mean, it should be. It should be.
should be
I
for
mean,
the first time probably in my entire life, like at the very least, a fun team to watch.
yeah, it's gonna be wheels up for the Bears
Yeah.
for years to come, in my opinion.
I hope you're right, bud. I hope you're right. It's been a
That
lot of
team,
misery. Been a lot of our highlight in my lifetime. I mean, we get to the Super Bowl, lose to the Colts. So that was great. Devin Hester is awesome. But the recent fandom highlight, which is probably one of the biggest lowlights in sports, is the double doink.
yeah, I know.
That's just
That's what everyone knows the Bears by in the last like decade is the double
yeah.
joint.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could probably pull a decent amount of like casual NFL fans, and they would never have guessed that the Bears played the Colts in the Super Bowl.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I know.
like all right. So we got Josh Brees, Devontae Cup, Hollywood Rome. Got the 80th pick.
The guy that picked right before us has taken like 6 straight
Six
receivers.
receivers: Garrett, Olave, Malik, Zay, Tank, Addison. All young guns too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, with that, when you take 6 in a row, you can just pretty much stop. Like you can just be done at receiver.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, so I like Godwin, JSN.
No, you're definitely not on the Brian Thomas train.
I'm not. No.
Yeah.
I like Godwin,
I love
Jackson Smith.
I do love Godwin here. Todd Bowles came out the other day saying that he's going to play significantly more from the slot, which is what his like natural position is. He was playing a lot outside last year, and in 2022 he was playing from the slot. I mean, put up like fairly equal numbers in each, but definitely more targets, more looks from that slot position. So I'm going to be drafting a decent amount of Godwin this year.
Yeah, I think he's one of the better values out of all the
Yeah.
receivers right now. Like, I like him. I thought JSN
Mhm.
was probably like slightly more correlated with Rome, but
Right.
I still
Talking
love
about that
Godwin
last
a
one.
lot.
Yeah. Feel like let's see. Yeah, people are going to be running receiver here probably.
Yeah, there's after this. This is the drop off range. It's the JSN to Rashee Rice,
But
and then
then
there's a teardrop.
but then when you were talking about it, I think it was you that was saying last last stream, this range of running backs is just
Yeah,
juicy as
again,
hell.
like
There's so
yeah,
many juicy options.
yeah, like there are so many DeAndre Swift, Zamir White, Najee, Jonathan Brooks, Jalen Warren. Like we're talking about all Tony Pollard. Yes, it's a committee, but one of them
Right.
like it's all starting running backs or
Yep.
pretty high quality RB2s, and
Yeah.
you're competing if you're taking running backs early and receivers late, you're having like yes, probably, better running backs, but what's the opportunity cost there? It's like
Right.
it's just so much better to take receivers early. It's like that is such a clear strategy to me this year is you want to limit yourself to one max two early running backs. And then just hammer them in this like eighth to I don't know,
Yeah.
10th, 11th round.
Yeah.
And I like, the some of the quarterbacks in this range. So it's like I just like the receivers, in my opinion, it's just not a great range. Oh, I
JSN's
mean, JSN did make it back to us.
yeah. So our next pick is 104 after this. So
I say we scoop up the Jackson Smith,
okay.
opens up a late stack if we needed Geno, if we don't
Okay.
get Stafford.
I
So
like
then
that.
we have a, Geno, JSN, probably Noah Fant.
God damn, dude. Why?
And
Why are you the way that you are?
I I think Noah Fant is one of the best late round. We seem to
I know you
so
do.
many of these streams we have leaned into kind of the 3 late tight end strategy,
Yeah.
and I like it. I don't mind it. I think it's one of the better strategies this year if you don't get like Kyle Pitts or Mark Andrews or a Kincaid, someone like that. I like the 3 late tight ends because I think, you know, you're getting starters that have ceilings, in my opinion. And
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I agree with the late 3 tight end being being definitely a solid strategy. I mean the you have to go so high to get a Laporta, a
yeah,
Kelsey,
Laporta is so
and Andrews. Like it's just you almost have to go into your draft knowing that you're taking those guys prior to the draft starting. Like they go that high.
yeah, Laporta definitely
Like
goes
yeah,
real high. Kyle Pitts went 39 in this draft. Sheesh.
Kincaid 34, Laporta
I
28,
didn't
Kelsey
even realize. Wait,
McBride
Kincaid
47.
went right after. I didn't realize he went right after we took Allen. The tight ends went real early in this
Real
draft.
early. Yep. Ferguson 72, Ingram 64,
Kittle somehow. I mean, he fell a little
Kittle
bit,
fell a
but yeah,
little.
Ingram went early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's why we were able to get Godwin and JSN like late.
Yep.
This is probably where we would want to be looking at Curtis Samuel if he's
Yep.
here,
Love it. And then we got 7
and then a
super
running
solid
back.
receivers. Yeah. Um, I almost think if Curtis Samuel does get snaked, even like a Mike Williams and go for like a Jonathan Brooks or a Javante here.
I think Trey Benson is best because if we go Stafford, then we get Stafford, Cup, and Trey Benson as the Week 17
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
run back.
I like that.
So yeah, if Curtis Samuel,
Samuel or Benson.
yeah, because that gives us options at. All right, well, looks like we're going Benson.
And then
We might have to be looking at what's Shakir's ADP after this. Well, he's not till later. We can take
113.
yeah, we can take Benson now, but
So he might be our next.
it
Yeah.
does suck that we didn't Josh Allen unstacked isn't ideal.
No. Even though he runs, it's so we go Shakir and then potentially MVS late,
MVS late. Yeah, we might just have to do the
just 8 receiver.
which sucks because I think Shakir and MVS are competing more for roles, but you never know how it'll work out. I just think we need to get Allen stacked up.
Yeah. Yeah, we need somebody with him for sure. And I know how you feel about Dawson Knox, so it's probably not going to be one of our 3 tight ends.
I mean, he might in this particular team because we took Allen and we kind of missed some of the stacks. You almost want to just he's a tight end who does like you're banking on touchdowns with tight ends, so
Yep.
you're just hoping that he's the guy that you wanted with Allen in a playoff week. So it makes more sense on this team.
I almost want to take him just so when we send the team to Nick and
Yeah,
Corey, they
that
just lose their mind.
well, yeah, we just us two drafted Knox after I screamed at Nick for not taking him. But in the teams that I was yelling at him, it was like it made no sense because we didn't have Allen. It just didn't even.
Yeah.
He was just taking him straight up
Yeah.
over better picks, in my opinion. But with Allen, it's a much better correlation.
I agree. I agree. Man, they're still going. Hawkinson, Schultz,
Yeah.
Goddard. Man. I guess those guys are more in line with their ADP at least, but
All right. It looks like we're gonna have to go Shakir.
yeah.
And Keon Coleman's gonna suck anyway. So Khalil Shakir could just it'll be Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, and MVS.
Yeah.
And then Dawson Knox beats out Dalton Kincaid for the job.
That would be something. That would be
that's not happening, but there's always risk of injury
true.
or just them running 2 tight end sets more than we might think, and something happens in the playoffs. And
I mean, you
backup
do
tight ends we have seen countless times, like in showdown slates for DFS, like where all the people have like 80% Kincaid in their lineups, and then Dawson Knox goes out there and vultures 2 touchdowns.
that would be. I mean, we'll say. I mean, they lose Diggs. Obviously, they draft Keon and use some good capital on him. So you're expecting
Yeah.
him to fill at least lining up. The production obviously we'll see, but in terms of looks and where he's lining up, you're expecting him to kind of fill that void. But
I just don't think he's going to be good.
if we play into the narrative of your opinion that he won't be that good, there is a chance they run more 11 personnel. And we see Knox in the red zone a ton. He's a guy who can block too. Kincaid isn't that great of a blocker. It's more of a receiving threat. So, having multiple ways to get onto the field is never a bad thing.
Yep. And tight ends in general, like I think you should be in best ball, especially like really prioritize stacking your tight ends with your quarterback, because you're really hunting for touchdowns with your tight end picks, and that is so positively correlated with your quarterback pick that I think it's might be the most correlated position directly to the quarterback is tight end, because again, you're hunting for touchdowns there.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even that's interesting.
Yeah, so like I'm always trying to like look for like whether I take a quarterback early,
Yeah.
I'm going to be like really thinking about their tight end throughout the draft, or if like let's say I take a Kyle Pitts like around 60 ADP, that immediately is going to make me want to take Kirk Cousins later, or like at least he moves up my board.
Yeah, becomes a priority.
Yeah,
definitely.
All right, that's why it sucked. Kincaid got taken right before us, but that's fine.
I think.
Okay, so we're at 1, What we probably need a running back
Yeah,
here.
I'm looking at Corum. I mean, we got Cup. We talked about Stafford. You have the
Well,
news
why
of
not?
Kyron's foot
Yeah.
problems coming out.
Yep. Let's go Corum here.
Okay.
And then let's look at Stafford now. He's
Yeah.
at 145. What are our next two picks?
We got 137 and 152.
Do we push him? 137, you said?
Yep. 137
I think if Ford, Charbonnet, or Rico
is there.
are there, we go running back. If they're gone, we just take Stafford in the stack. Because receiver, there's not really. I mean, we do have what? We have 7.
We have 7 and we're getting MVS late. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we're done there. Um, so let's see here. Looks
Well,
like
I
we
don't even know if we take MVS now because we still need 3 tight ends. We're only
right.
taking two quarterbacks, but we need 6 running backs on this team, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we took Brees early.
We got Trey and Blake too.
It'd be really fragile if we took 5. I guess we can make it work. If we got Ford or Rico, I'd be more comfortable with 5. But if we don't get one of those two, it would be pretty thin not to go 6. Because we Ford or Rico, I'm very confident that are gonna have a lot of playing time. But like you get into anyone after that, it gets a lot more dicey.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at, you know,
So do you want to go Ford or Rico here now?
yeah, I lean Ford. I think
Yeah,
Chubb is
I'm
going
fine
to
with Ford.
have. Yeah, okay. I think Chubb is going to take longer to get back to true form, and even when he does come back,
This
I
is a
don't think
bad injury.
it was gnarly, dude. And it's that same knee. So like, I think even when he does
I don't
inevitably
think
come
he'll
back,
ever be the same running back. I really
yeah,
don't think he will. I don't think he'll ever be that hyper efficient, just
yeah.
like crazy yards per carry. I don't think he's going to be that guy again.
Give me 2 seconds. I gotta grab my charger.
Okay. All right. So with our next pick here, we're probably looking towards Stafford. If we don't get Stafford, then we're down to probably getting that Geno pick to pair with JSN, Noah Fant late, and then we have the Rome run back. But I unless there's a Puka drafter between us, I have a good feeling Stafford will make it back. Can you see if the Puka team is between us?
Yeah. Let's see. We want. Oh, will it not say? Oh, Futuristica.
Okay,
Nope.
no, he's
He's
already
at,
taken 2 quarterback. Okay. Yeah, like
yeah.
it would be pretty poor decision for someone to take Stafford here. Like Stafford is a guy you like really want with Cup or Puka.
Right.
Like it, I mean, unless you would be going unless felt you were just
Higby.
boxed out of court. Yeah, it'd be like no, it'd be date. It would be Colby Parkinson and
Oh
Demarcus
yeah,
Robinson.
Colby. Yeah.
Like that would be your like backdoor
Yeah.
stack, but that's
Gross.
pretty rough.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, I think you'll get to us. Both these teams behind us taking 2 quarterbacks.
So then we got 5 picks to work with.
Yeah, so I would be okay with 5 running backs now after getting Ford, Corum, Benson, Brees. It'd be fragile for sure, just
Yeah,
because.
that's we would go MVS then if we went 5 RBs because 3 tight ends, and then we got 2 other
Yeah,
outstanding picks.
right now we're just debating whether we go 6 running backs and 7 receivers or 5 but I mean our receivers are. I mean, let's look at our receiver room. It is pretty
Sick.
strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we should probably just stop at 7
Yeah. I think that's fine too
because
because
we're
you're
gonna
also
get Knox. We're gonna get Knox
yeah,
as the other partner.
yeah.
And
Well,
and as we already said, like, 'cause we think Shakir and MVS
that's
are
what, yeah,
more so competing for the same role.
yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Is um, you're almost vulturing yourself at a certain point if you get both of them.
Yeah.
You're almost better off just grabbing shares of Shakir and shares of MVS and just hoping they either pay
Yeah.
off in separate weeks or that one becomes the clear guy and you've got him at a decent value.
Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, based off of what I said, where I prefer MVS, like getting him in the last round, we could have taken a really solid running back at pick
Yeah.
113 and then got MVS late. But, you know, it's fine. I mean, we're not like super confident that one or the other is gonna
I
win
also
that
am,
role.
I mean, also looking just quickly before we pick here again, looking at the RBs that got picked after you. You've got Eckler, Chase Brown,
Yeah.
yes, Javante, yes, but like I don't necessarily like any of those guys that much more than Blake Corum, who we got the round after.
Yeah, I was just saying we would have had Blake
Oh,
Corum
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah,
and like a Javonte Williams or someone like that, which in hindsight I probably would prefer, but
yeah.
you know, if we ended up getting vultured on MVS, which I've seen MVS go a lot higher in boards
Mhm.
now, then we risk like just having Allen naked, and that would not be great.
Can't have it.
So it did assure us the stack there.
What are you
Um,
looking here? I kind
what
of
tight
have,
ends are on the board? Ben's in it. Let's go with is Vidal there?
yeah.
Yeah, let's go with Vidal.
He has been shooting up the ranks
Yeah.
since getting finally put into underdog system.
Shoot, Ray Davis probably would have been a better correlation, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Just because he's on the Bills. But
yeah. I didn't even see him there moving too fast, but that's okay.
yeah, I
Um,
just Ray Davis is I mean, James Cook has been good, but I mean, I feel like they got Ray Davis to be more of this like bruiser,
he's a big
like
boy.
touchdown guy. So,
Yeah,
but I mean, we know like Vidal's upside is through the roof. Like
dude.
one of Gus Edwards or Vidal. I mean, I'm out on Dobbins completely. So if J.K. Dobbins is the one that emerges as the one, like I'm gonna be furious because I have so much Gus
Yeah,
Edwards and Vidal.
I mean, if you got it, so playing out the scenarios in our head here, Chargers. They bring in Harbaugh. They bring in Greg Roman, both guys who establish the run. It's what the offense is built around, right? Obviously, you got Herbert there, so you got a gunslinger, but both of those guys have made it very clear that that football to them is running the football and playing hard nosed defense. So then you look at the three guys, and there's not really, in my opinion, like a lead guy, right? Like it hasn't necessarily been completely established who
Right,
that
and
lead
that's why their
is.
ADPs are so late.
Right. And so then factoring in, you've got Vidal, who's got fresh legs, who put up insane numbers in college. You've got Gus Edwards, who was like a middle of the road backup in Baltimore the last couple of years. And then you got J.K. Dobbins, who's coming off of that ACL
And Achilles.
and Achilles. So if you're trying to throw darts, I agree completely that JK is the odd man out. And I'm willing to take the risk on the other two guys and be potentially wrong about that, just going in not knowing who's going to get the majority of the carries. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, some teams and there's a possibility that they can both pay off their value. Like if they
Yeah.
both are in this split role,
Hmm.
ideally you want one of them to emerge as like the primary guy so those teams like are really looking good.
Hmm.
But yeah, I just find it hard to believe that someone is not paying off in the Chargers backfield.
Yeah. When we talked about a guy ad nauseum last year, Javante Williams, coming off of a similar type of injury as JK, and how all of us agreed Javonte is an absolute stud of a running back, absolute beast. But that we were all off of him last year, where his ADP was at because he was coming off of that injury. Obviously, JK's isn't as high as Javante's was, but we saw the production that a guy of that stature, of that athleticism, was able to produce, and it wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah.
All right, we got Jawan here.
Yeah, I think Jawan makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
We took some early draft capital with Devonte Adams, and now you get a mini correlation there for the fantasy playoffs.
yep.
And now, like, I feel pretty like Jawan Johnson. What is Taysom Hill's ADP? Because there is quite some buzz now. Like in the other stream,
Last round.
I I'm gonna start taking a little bit there with the new offensive coordinator there from San Fran. They
Saw
are
that.
like planning. Like it seems like Taysom might have like a bigger role than I anticipated. So
I did see that too.
like especially how they like to use motion and just all this like creative stuff. It makes sense that a guy like Taysom
Yeah.
would be utilized. So
Yeah, I mean, you can throw him in fullback, you can throw him at running back, you can throw him at receiver, tight end, quarterback, legitimately any position
I know
outside
it's
of O
I
line.
feel like I'm gonna have to start taking some late round Taysom now.
I'm sure there'll be weeks where Taysom Hill throws a touchdown and catches or runs
Yes.
a touchdown,
And
and
yeah,
is for sure you're starting tight end that week.
right.
Like,
He's
willing to
got a
bank.
ceiling and he goes in the last round. Okay, so we have one more running back and two more tight ends. Knox we know is gonna be one of them.
Yeah,
Uh
he can be our last pick
yeah.
there.
And then right now we can either go Fant, Chig, running back. What's our running back around here? Are there any?
You got Roshan, Damian Pierce, Eli Mitchell, Deonta.
I mean, I haven't taken a lot of Roshan, and I like Roshan.
I do too.
I wouldn't hate that, and it adds on to a little bit of that Roshan, Rome, and
Yeah,
Jackson stack.
yeah. No, I like it too. I,
I've been
you know,
taking Herbert over him, but I think that's just because I think maybe like obviously Herbert was more of the lead back last year, but I think Roshan's the better talent, and it's in his second
I
year. I could see him being more of the RB2.
agree. There was
So
there's also talks that they were going to trade Herbert potentially too. After bringing Swift in and having Roshan on a rookie contract,
yeah,
Herbert, talent wise, I think is worth at least some draft capital. It'd be some late draft capital, but if you're not going to use the guy, or if he's just going to be basically there until the contract uh, ends, like I don't know why you don't try and get some value out of him with bringing in Swift, paying Swift, and then having Roshan on a rookie contract. So
yeah. And I think we were taking Roshan earlier when it was Justin Fields as the
yeah,
quarterback in a worse offense. Yes, it was just Herbert and him, and now Swift is the clear guy, but it's going to be a much better offense. The contingency value if Swift were to be injured, which a
mhm,
lot of these late round running back picks, you're kind of picking like who's the most valuable backup here in case the RB1 gets injured. And I think the Bears backup running back is going to be quite valuable because I think that offense is going to be very good.
yeah, no, I'm with you. Um, you got Andy B in the chat here saying Taysom Hill's
Oh,
listed
is he?
QB. Let's see.
Here, yeah, let's
Oh, he is.
okay. Never
There we
mind.
go.
Do
There you
not
go.
take.
Hey, good call out, Andy B.
I thought you had clicked the tight end tab and searched him,
Yeah, I
but
did too. Was moving too fast. Good looking out, Andy B.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So draft he'd be an 11th. Okay. On DK, he's an 11th rounder. It sounds like
Yeah,
that seems
that
a
seems
little
high.
high.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like
I'm with you.
you're kind of really banking on him having quite the role if you're taking him there.
Yeah, yeah, you're definitely feeding into the what's that Twitter account like Coach Speak? They like
Yeah. The coach
decode.
speak index.
Yeah, the Coach Speak index. Trying to decode, sitting there like Nicolas Cage, just trying to figure out the secrets.
Wow,
uh,
the tight ends, I mean, people were in love with their tight it just
yeah,
dried up so fast between
yeah,
our last pick and now.
yep. I
Wow.
mean,
I
Parkinson's there with
that's
Stafford,
rough.
Gesicki,
I say we get Dulcich first because I think Dulcich
Joker
everyone
role.
was high on him not too long ago, and I mean, Adam Troutman is their I think Dulcich is going to end up emerging as the guy that Sean Payton, imagined him to be. They were talking about him being in this like Joker role.
Yep,
This and like I'm gonna be back in on Dulcich. I'm kind of there's some Broncos players like Javonte Williams who we said last year coming off ACL, I was like, avoid, don't draft him. I said the time to buy in is the following year, which is this year. I'm
yep.
back in on Javonte Williams. I'll be glad to be back in on Dulcich too.
Yeah. I mean,
And we have or no, Denver Denver plays Cincy, I think, week 17. For some reason I was thinking they played the Chargers, but yeah,
yeah.
I mean, Dawson Knox, I'll be shocked if he's gone.
I mean, let's see. You guys got
People
three.
people went crazy on tight ends this draft. Go to
I guess
those
we
3
could
tight
go.
end.
We could go Colby Parkinson if, for whatever reason, Knox does get scooped
Yeah, yes, yeah, definitely queue up him. Actually,
over.
looking back, we probably should have just gone Colby and Knox. I am
That's what
feeling
I was saying. Do you hear me say Colby?
oh, I didn't even hear you say Colby.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I feel like an idiot for not going with Colby.
That's all right. That's all right.
But, you know, there's always the next draft.
There's always the next draft, man. We got to, while we've got at least one captive listener, shout out Andy B. I think PB, do you know how many live streams a week we're looking at doing? Are we going to try and up it from the traditional two?
Yeah, I would like, if because like tonight it was just us two, and I think we could manage like three, whether,
Yeah,
you know, if only three of us can do one day, two of us do another. Like I think three people can find time to at least put two like we currently have in their schedule and miss one or something.
yeah,
So I think, yeah, getting to three a week, doing it around what,
eight
8 to 9.
central, so nine
Yeah,
central. Yeah,
yeah, anywhere between then. Um, but yeah, we definitely I do want to like make an exact schedule. So
yeah,
it's just like these are the times, whoever's available at this time, get on,
yep,
even if it has to be a solo stream or something.
yeah. That's
Um,
not the end of the world. All right, coin toss, or you like Knox here? I kind of just want to take Knox just for the
yeah,
sheer group chat reaction.
yeah, I agree. We gotta go for the group chat reaction.
All right, word. All right, let's go through the squad real quick. So at up top, JA and Stafford. Take Brees in the first round here. One of the first drafts that we've taken a running back in the first round.
Got him paired up with Allen as well for that
Yep.
correlation.
Yep. Week 17 there. Now you get rookies Trey Benson, Blake Corum. Got Ford, obviously man in the ship with Nick Chubb's injury. Another rookie Vidal in that crowded but probably heavily utilized Chargers backfield. Roshan, we shall see. And then we went wide receiver heavy after round one, which has been pretty much our, as we were talking about at the front end, our um, go to strategy this year, and you can see why. I mean, that's a stacked wide receiver room.
Yeah.
Couple of vets, couple of young guys, couple of guys in new offenses, um, and then rounding it out, 3 tight end. I like
Yeah.
it.
It is a rough 3 tight ends. I mean, I'm glad we got Jawan at least at the top, but,
Yeah,
you know, we got Knox at least stacked.
yeah,
I made the mistake of not hearing you and going with
that's
Colby
okay.
instead of Dulcich, but
That's okay.
it's fine. Well, that'll do it for our second live stream. Again, we're going to come up with a schedule and post that to our social media and stay consistent with that, aiming for 3 times a week. Thank you for watching. Andy B, thank you for leaving a comment. Wouldn't have known that
Shouts
about
out,
Taysom.
shouts out Andy B in the chat.
Uh, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.